And one of the headlines in the newspaper talked about the fact that, unlike Tinubu, Atiku said does not have dual citizenship issue. What's your take on it?
No, for me, I find it funny because I could remember vividly years back that he was also accused of not being a Nigerian, so there were speculations like that. So it is expected anyway because his own matter has died down, nobody's talking about it.
He even had to fight to prove that he's a citizen of Nigeria.
So nobody is talking about his own issue now, so it's comfortable for him to, and you know, now the focus all is on the president-elect. Everybody who contested this election that lost feels that he or she was cheated out. So all eyes are on the president-elect. Everybody he is claiming he won the election. That's the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, the former Vice President, Abubakar Atiku. He is claiming he won the presidential election. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party is also claiming he won the presidential election. So all these things are expected.
Yeah, and I was also reading the statement by the spokesman for the PDP campaign council right there, talking about Daniel Bwala, where he was talking about wishing Tinubu good health, and also saying he knows it's going to be sworn in temporarily while they are waiting for the court to also decide their case right there. It's going to be quite interesting. But also, I'm happy with the way PDP have gone about their business over the issue about winning or not winning the election compared to the other parties, the way they've gone, but where it has been more slinging here and there and stuff like that. But I think at the end of the day, democracy will benefit from some of these challenges. It's going to help us to also look at some of the loopholes, areas to work on as we hope to get better.
Yes, political analysts will tell you that this is the beauty of democracy. Yeah. That is why it is called democracy. People have the opportunity to air their grievances, the opportunity to say anything they want to say. That is why it is called democracy. And the judiciary, at the end of the day, is going to decide who is the winner at the end of the day. So right now, yes, in fact, some people are even saying there should not be any inauguration. So we get this, and these agitations are still ongoing. As for the PDP, well, let me just say it's just like playing the PDP is the major opposition party, and it is expected that having passed through this process over time, they were in power. The PDP was in power for 16 years. There was litigation at every point in time. Anytime there's presidential election, the party also passed through that process, and the party became opposition in 2015. There was also a process like that. So at some point, you become older, you grow into this and become matured in handling this. And as for the others, you and I know. That is, those ones are a combination of a younger people who many of them do not really understand the process, because unfortunately we do not have a system where voter education or electoral process education is taken seriously. It is only when election is approaching that the electoral body you begin to hear issues about election, collective PVC. As far as many Nigerians are concerned, this is the only thing they know about election. Go collect your PVC, go and vote. So we have these young people who actually believe that their preferred candidates win. So you won't blame them because they are young people, they are agile, so they are venting, venting their emotions.
They are venting their emotions right there, and I hope they continue to know that the right mechanism to use to be able to vent their emotions. And as they are learning also, they are also coming to terms with reality, and if they want to really make things happen, the way they need to go about it. And talking about students, we also know the challenges faced by Nigerian students in Sudan. There has been a major issues, and recently our federal government have made arrangements to get vehicles that would bring Nigerians from Sudan to Nigeria right there. It has been a topical issue that along the line that a lot of people have been talking about the way and manner our federal government has gone about the business. But finally, I think they finally found a way to get some of the students to come back home.
Yes, they found a way, but they say it is not Uhuru yet. Why I'm saying that, because as this morning, the news is that out of the 40 buses that were paid for or hired, only 15. Yes, they managed to get 15. 10 were deployed initially, and then later on the remaining 5 was also made available. So far, about 2,400 students have been, they managed to evacuate. And meanwhile, as at the last count, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, said that we have about 5,500 students there. And if you go by the news, every other country around the world, they have successfully evacuated their people. They are still doing it. So the question is, why is Nigeria?
Why did you wait this long?
Exactly.
Before we react, why are we more reactive instead of being proactive?
Proactive. Yeah. That is what it boils down to. You know, we know that these things are bound to happen, even if you do not know they are bound to happen. Developed countries, where other countries where institutions work perfectly, they make plans, long-term plans and short-term plans. I also know that Nigeria has such plans, but maybe those plans do not include every other thing. Yeah. But if there's anything we should learn, we should continually learn, because when the Russia-Ukraine war broke out, the same thing happened. There were hitches in bringing back our people from that part of the country. So from then, it is expected that a lesson should be learned. There should always be a plan, a framework that this is for so XYZ. Should this happen, we will quickly move into action. But here we are. We're still struggling.
And in the course of this, also when I look at the numbers of Nigerians and students in Sudan, it's also a major source of worry for me. We know Sudan has been going through a serious political upheaval in the last 10 years before the South Sudan was separated from Sudan. Then the Sudan also the country itself has been battling with so many internal issues. But when you look at the number of Nigerians going to Sudan, it's also a source of worry for me, because you know these are areas that are prone to violence and stuff like that. Why are Nigerians still going through it? It's also, is it part of the jacking drum that has even got to this level? Because I don't understand why would Nigerians will be going to Sudan, knowing that that place is prone to political violence. The internal strife in the last 10 years is worrisome. But seeing the huge numbers, especially from the statement from the minister, the foreign minister, on the number of Nigerians that are still there in Sudan, that are still to be evacuated, it's a source of worry for me. And I think it should be a source of worry for the Nigerian government.
Of course, and even that number put out, I think that number consisted of only students. There are other, yes, there are, of course, there are other Nigerians in Sudan that are not students. Yeah. And there's somebody shared a post on Twitter or social media and said that there are over that we have over 1 million Nigerians in Sudan. Yes. What that is just speculation. It's not verified. Okay, let's just work with what the government has given us as put out. 5,500, majorly most of them students.
So definitely there are people,
now,
families.
The thing is that I think we are in a situation whereby a lot of people have somehow lost faith. They just feel that, well, look at our educational system in this country. It's always, strike has become an annual festival. Every year there must be a strike. And for a student who hopes to spend like 4 years in the university, you end up spending 6, in some cases 10 years, 8 years in the university. This is not something that students, nobody cherishes this, because your parents are spending money, you are wasting your time, you are expending your energy in something that should have taken you just 4 years. This is one of the reasons why, for some people, they rather go to that place where they know that, okay, my education, I have a budget for 4 years and I am going to achieve this. At the end of 4 years, I will be graduating. Then look at the security situation. Yes, we know what has been going on in Sudan. And but I tell you, even as we speak now, some Nigerians will tell you that they'd rather be there. He's the jackpot.
We had some
they'll tell you they'd rather be that.
During the Ukraine-Russia war,
exactly.
The height of it. Some Nigerians still prefer to remain in
Ukraine
there than come back to Nigeria, even at the height of the war. And it should be a major source of worry for the government. We know we've been talking about this, but we have not really been paying lip service to it. But we've not really been able to address the major issues. Why Nigerians are leaving the country in drove. Government needs to take a critical look at that and find a lasting solution.
Of course, it is something that it is worrisome because there's serious brain drain in Nigeria, a serious one. The health, especially the health sector. The health sector is the major sector that is worst hit by this Japa syndrome because it is easier to get a job over there as long as you are a medical. And you can
be able to take care of your basic needs. And I was talking to somebody, what are some of the things that Nigerians do benefit from this? And it's not as if their way of life is better than what they are experiencing in Nigeria, but the basic things of life are available.
Are you sure? How can you say their way of life is not better than what they are experiencing in Nigeria? Are you sure?
What I mean is the kind of freedom you enjoy in Nigeria, you don't get to.
What kind of freedom do you enjoy in Nigeria, Tolu? Let me put it out to you. What kind of freedom do you enjoy in Nigeria?
Let's take for instance, when it comes to the kind of job that people do when they go out there.
Okay.
It's not the kind of job you do here in Nigeria, you may not get that kind of job when you go out there. You have to start from the basics. Probably do a healthcare job or something like that. Anything that can make ends meet. But the beautiful thing is that despite the little job you're doing, that you can cover, or you can say a many job. Those things help you to take care of your basic necessity. Unfortunately in Nigeria, even if you are earning so much, you can't still take care of your basic necessity.
Let's talk about hours. Let's talk about work hours.
Because those are the regional.
Let's even talk about work hours.
Yeah.
Over there, you allow as long as in for menial just to control the hours you work, and you get paid for each second that you put in a work. Exactly. You get paid for each second and each minute that you work. But what do we have here? You work 15 hours straight, 16 hours straight.
And you can't meet your needs.
And you can't meet your needs. Over what? And you tell me that it is not better.
Really
so that is it. So for them, they just feel that anybody who has a way to just live Nigeria, they'd rather go there and do 3, 4 jobs, just so, hold it down and get paid. 3 hours, they pay you. 4 hours, they pay you. 2 hours, they pay you. But they know that you are being paid for every second and every minute that you pay. So these are some of the things. And if we want to get it right in Nigeria, there is need for workers' welfare to become sacrosanct, to become a priority, especially to employers.
Exactly.
Especially to employers. It is only in Nigeria that everything increase in prices, cost, and everything except what you earn. Yes, except what you earn.
Yeah.
Only in Nigeria, what you earn never increases. But as you continually go to the market, the food prices, commodities, other commodities, your clothing, your basic necessities, that ordinarily you can just pick them up, but you discover that you are struggling with them. And yet you work back to back every day. You leave your house in the morning, you come back at night. Then people will begin to look at you. What is this person doing with the money?
Exactly.
Not knowing that you don't even earn that much.
Yeah, it's also, especially when you look at people who you think they are earning well, but they are still living in the country. And you ask yourself, if this kind of person could leave this country, how much more you that don't earn up to that? And you are still, it's a major source of worry.
So that is it. In as much as no place is better than Nigeria, no place is better than home. They say home is home. Yeah. No place is better than home. But what needs to be done needs to be done.
Exactly.
Because the truth of the matter is that people feel disillusion when especially there are circumstances where some people just look at and they will see somebody who is not even working as hard as they do. You see the person spending money, living large, and all of that.
Lavish life and
yes.
stuff like that.
And unfortunately, we find ourselves in a society whereby this is what the society measure people with. The amount of respect, the level of respect you get is put side by side by how deep your pockets is or how fat your bank account is.
We should have a system where hard work pays.
Exactly.
If you are hardworking, you should be able to take care of your basic necessities.
Of course, it should show that you are hardworking.
Does not encourage that.